everybody, welcome to this new video. I don't know if you watched the previous video, which was a create a sim one, but at the ending of that one I mentioned that I would be showing you a base game villa, and so this is the speed build of it. I think it looks a bit like the ones, the base game houses I made before, which are in the gallery. Shining Silver Sim is my name there. But the special thing about this one is that it's kind of I don't know, an Italian villa or French, I think more Italian, and it has not a vineyard, but I think it's called an orchard. So it's basically trees that, for example, apple trees or whatever, but yeah, you can really choose that in The Sims. So as you'll see in a minute, I have put some trees up there, and I have also used a kind of paint on the ground to make it look as if they were all planted there. But first I'm starting with the base of this villa. So as you can see, it's quite big. It has, I think, it has 5 bedrooms and it has 2 bathrooms. So 4 of the bedrooms have place for 2 Sims to sleep together in one bed, or 1 Sim in a big bed, and then I have more like a children or teenager room as a 5th room, which is a bit smaller than all the rest. And then you have you will have 2 almost identical bathrooms. But okay, first we start with the build itself. So I made some hills because when you have a vineyard, you also have hills. So at first I set some fences, which I'll delete later, but I needed them to make sure that whatever I put on the ground looked a bit, I won't say straight, because as you can see it's very difficult. I don't know if there's a way to make it go in a straight line, but yeah, so not too chaotic. That's why I use the fences. I can also use the grid, but that's white, so that's a bit less obvious. Okay, so I added in these chimneys. I don't know why. I think they looked, I mean, every old building has chimneys, so I think they looked as if they suited there. Okay, so for the orchard or whatever it is, I placed larger trees in the back and smaller trees in the front row. So I had to make sure that they all were at the same distance in between them, which is sometimes difficult, but if you use the grid it's okay. For example, you'll see here I first place these ones and then I place the little ones in between, but then you realize that there's not enough space, so you have to move every one of them half of a tile. Then I placed a big one there because I think it looked a bit empty, and another one just over there. I don't know which kinds of trees these are supposed to be, and I don't think they resemble, I mean, they resemble trees that could bear fruit, but I don't think they were meant as trees that bear fruit. But that's okay. Just imagine that this is an Italian orchard, and then it's just fine. Then I placed this hedge fence, which I just let go chaotically, I could say, over the hills, because I just thought that made sense, that looked realistic. Then I surrounded the house with another fence because the hedge was more like to show where the garden ended, and this fence is really to show what part is actually the house and its surrounding. And then this thing, this is something I really liked, so I made a pool, and in the end I think it looks really it looks really cool. It'll have beds you can lie on, and don't know what it's called, not a parasol, it's something else. And yeah, this is like the driveway, so I searched for cars. This was a cool sports car, but I deleted it because it looked a bit buggy. So I went for an orange and a black car. I don't know why, but I think they fit it. By the way, this is a base game house, and it's 64 on 64 lot, so you can put it on a big lot in one of the base game worlds, but the world I'm building it in this video is actually Windenburg, because the lot on the cliff really fitted this build, I thought. Just really liked it. As you can see, you have the sea in the background, and it's like on an ancient cliff that used to have, or on a cliff that used to have an ancient ruins and a castle. So this is like the new modern version of your castle. It's just a big base game villa. I really like that idea. As you can see on the left of the house, we still have a lot of open space, but I had a cool idea for that, which you'll see later on. So I used it for something that turned out really good looking, I think. Okay, so here I placed these hedges, but as you might know, they come in a long version, which you can't use everywhere because it might be too long. So for the smaller parts, like here, I used the big push, and I just sized it down one size with using Alt and then your button next to 0, normally it should be, because then it looks exactly like the poles they use for the long bushes. I think it's even the exact same thing when you size it down. Okay, so this is what I meant. I think it looks really cool this way, and then you have some more plants because otherwise it looked a bit empty, I think, but I also didn't want to fill it up with too much bushes and trees, because otherwise it would look a bit too full and chaotic. So now I wanted to make a little terrace with a jacuzzi. So I set a platform and I lowered the platform so you could actually walk down using little stairs. And then first I made it this way so you would have like 2 separate platforms. I think I don't know if I kept it this way or if I just made them one platform. Yeah, I think I kept it this way. And then the nicest part about this terrace is that I made a little roofing for it, and then I realized something nice you can do for a terrace roofing. You'll see it in a minute. So first you have to, I use these fences, so you have to use walls to put these fences on, and then you can use them as a roof, but don't forget to use wall trims too, because otherwise they look white on the sides. And then I just I opened the roof, so part of the roof is open and part is closed, and then I added some light bulbs, and I think it looks really nice this way. It also looks very nice at night, but that's I think that's at the end. Yeah, I added in these trees because it was a bit empty there. Yeah, 2 things I always make sure I have, because I used to forget that a lot, is a mailbox and a trash can for outside. Which is important because I say this a lot, but if you don't have a mailbox, it'll just randomly appear. If you buy this house with your Sims and it doesn't have a mailbox, then it just randomly appears in the middle of the house, for example, so you wouldn't want that. I placed a little fountain on the right side because there was nothing there yet. And then these plants. I think this is the last part for the outside of the house. So I hope you like the outside of the house. It's as if it's actually an old building which they renovated into a modern villa, because you'll see that the inside I've decorated in a very modern way actually. And I also like these windows. They're big windows and they fit these walls. And I also like that it's all just Basegame. Okay, so now I had to make a structure for inside the house. Then I always have to think what do I want, because where will the kitchen be, where will the living room be? That's all very important. And I also wanted it to be quite not exactly symmetrical, except for upstairs. There it is symmetrical, but just there had to be enough space. But it also had to look good, so the symmetry can help with that. Here I was testing out whether this room would be too big, so then I realized it would be, so I put a wall there. And I put some open doors. And this little box is meant for the toilet downstairs, so box behind the stairs, that's for people, for guests visiting who have to go to the toilet, or if you're downstairs you can go to the toilet there. But upstairs you also have 2 bathrooms. Then first I add the lights because, as you know, I want to see what the walls and the floors look like in the lights. Otherwise you're just wasting time testing out things. Okay, then for a second I thought these would be the walls, but then I thought no, I wanted it to be more modern. And then eventually, I think what I did for the walls eventually is one of the best parts about this house. It's just I used 3 things. I used this brownish wooden thing, I used normal neutral white, and I used the outside wall. So the stonish outside wall returns inside on like 1/3 of the walls, and I really like the way it turned out and the way it looks, especially combined with the wooden brown, and especially combined with the modern furniture. Okay, so then I had to choose doors. I went for black and also glass because I like that, but the black is because the windows and the outside doors are black. Then I struggled a bit to find fences for the stairs because what I forgot is if you change the colors of fences, you can accidentally select horse ranch colors or colors from the horse ranch pack, which I think is, by the way, really weird. They should make that more clear. So to make sure it's still base game, you just have to go for a safe option. Okay, sometimes I look what it looks like, take a look at what it looks like if I would save it, just to see if something's missing. But there wasn't anything big missing. So yeah, also saved it just in case I wanted an empty version, but I deleted that one because I think this house is only complete if you have the furniture inside it too, because the furniture really gave it a whole modern renovation theme, which I really liked. So here I quickly just made a study. I just put some stuff in already. I don't know if you've watched previous videos of mine, but what I do is actually I put furniture in every room. So in this video I'll do the first floor too, and then the second floor. But sometimes I do it with the whole house, so I put furniture everywhere and some details I already have in mind, and then all the other details and other furniture I just add later on, because then first I have a better idea of what the house should look like. But I think for this one, for some rooms I had many ideas, so I already tried them out. Yeah, by the way, I really don't like it that Basegame doesn't have these bars you can put against the wall, because I didn't really find a good alternative. So what was I going to say? Yeah, so first I put furniture everywhere, and then later I add in other things just to know what it looks like. But for the study I already had something, I put something good looking. Okay, now the kitchen is a difficult story, so I was really doubting on which color I had to use for the kitchen, and also once I thought it was finished I felt like something was off. So what you'll see now is basically me thinking about how to make this kitchen better, what is wrong with it, what should I change. For example, I used this gray color and it eventually turned out to look quite good, but it still didn't match with this house, and I felt like something was off, something should change about it. So what I'll eventually do is just make this whole kitchen white. And I also add a door next to it on the left. So basically the first thing I did, making it white, is what I'll circle back to in the end. So this is what it looked like. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but I don't know, it didn't fit the house. I think the house was like, with these walls, it was a bit too old looking or something like that, and that's why it needed fresher white. And also just, I like it when the rooms all make sense together. So I don't want a house that has a room that has a different theme for every room. I want a house that fits together entirely. So every room has to be the same style and the same colors coming back. So that's, I think, the biggest reason why I eventually changed this kitchen back to white. I also put two cooking stoves because that looks just better. Here I was also doubting which colors I should use for the sofas. I think upstairs went way quicker than and way more smoothly than downstairs. Downstairs I was really doubting. I was like, what have I done wrong? It doesn't look exactly as what I expected it to be. For example, the kitchen. So that's why I kept changing things. I also had to tell myself, like, just leave the kitchen alone for a minute and then come back to it later to see what it looks like. Oh yeah, so this is something I really liked. I used these wall decorations and I made them bigger to put things in, and this is something that will come back everywhere in the house. So I'll also do it in the bathroom because then I place the washing tables in there, and I'll do it in the dining room because there'll be a bar in there, so I really like using this. And sometimes I just use them as normal decorations on the wall, so they keep coming back, just like the golden tiles keep coming back too. So as you can see, I was still doubting what to do with this kitchen, and I was thinking maybe it's the walls, maybe I should change the walls, and then I was like, no, these are the best walls. So I still haven't figured out. I have to make it white again at this point. I mean. So then I made it black, which is not bad, but white is eventually the best option. Okay, so here I had to fill in that corner, and these little rooms are actually just passageways to the garden, so I filled them up with some stuff. What I really liked is actually this one, because I made it into some kind of sitting room where you could play chess together. I even have that room among the pictures I'll post about this one. So yeah, I made the kitchen entirely black. Still, the kitchen is still waiting for me to figure everything out. Then I switched up the living room a little bit. Yeah, so this is the point where I realized it just should be white, which is better. I mean, if I see it now, I'm also like, that's just the way it's supposed to be. I feel like it was just the best option. And then the living room went from too much black and too much white to this combination. And then I put some curtains, but I think I made them white. But I didn't put those upstairs, I only put those downstairs. And then I found this and I put that outside. I don't know, that's just a little detail. Maybe if there are kids living in this house. I think if I look at this house, it's as if it's a kind of either a vacation home for really, really rich people, because if this is your vacation home, you're like really rich. But it can also be just a home where your Sims live, but then you have, I think, maybe a few rooms that could be for children or for adults, but then you would have like one room that could be for adults. That may be too much, but then if you want, you can put other people there. It can be a guest room, or if you have a big family with for example grandparents living in too, then they could sleep there. That's also an option. Or just like random adults who live together, could also be something like this. Okay, so this is the hallway. They can put their shoes there, they can put their jackets over there. I really like this hallway, by the way. Don't know why, it looks quite good. Okay, so this is like me checking the downstairs one last time, because I know I'll move to decorating upstairs. Oh yeah, and then there's a little empty spot left over there. Which you can use to search something on the computer on, which you can also do in the study. But I mean, there are many people living in this house, so In fact, it's not a bad idea to have 2 big computers. Okay, so as I said, 5 rooms, 4 big ones, 1 small one. All the beds kind of linked together, or the colors are also linked together. This is my favorite room, the one with the gray bed. I don't know why, I think it just turns out looking modern but also cozy, especially with this rug. It really fits. I wanted to place like a painting or something there, but I realized this was not it, and then I found this, which really matched the room. And then, as I said, I also used those wall decorations just as what you're supposed to use them as, and some clothing racks and a mirror. I also added a mirror. This is something I haven't mentioned yet. Mirrors are also something that keeps coming back in this house. So you have mirrors everywhere. You have the black mirrors in the living room and here, which form one special mirror, and yeah, there was the one you just saw. And then you also have mirrors forming one mirror. You have mirrors just apart, and you also have mirrors as a part of the wall decoration, so inside the little decorations. Okay, so this room is, I don't know, maybe a girl's room. This could also be like teenage girl room or something, because I don't know, the bed has a girly vibe, I think. Looks actually like a bed which just has one girl sleeping in it. And then this room could be like, I mean, this could be anything, right? Maybe the teenage boy's bedroom, or maybe the parents' room. Could also be the parents' room, yeah. That other one that was my favorite could also be a children's bedroom, but it could also be the parents' bedroom. I think if you had one guest room, maybe it would be this one, because this one has, I think, the least, how do you say, personality. It's a bit more like a hotel room. But a nice hotel. I also like the painting above the bed. And then you have this one. Well, this could also be the parents' bedroom. Yeah, it also has the fireplace. And there you have the mirror back. Yeah, maybe this is more like the parents' bedroom, and then you can also paint. So there's really a painter in this family, I think, because you have paintings standing against the wall, and here you have empty canvases standing against it. This has parent bedroom vibes, I think. Okay, so actually, I think this is almost it. I still had to decorate this little room, and I knew I wanted one with a piano. It's actually a very artistic family if you think about it this way. Oh yeah, and then you have the room for the child or teenager. I think this room looks as if it's like a new room in a new house with new furniture. I made this wall brown because otherwise it was a bit boring. I didn't want to make this too chaotic, so feel free to fill this room up with your own stuff. And then I still had to make the 2 bathrooms. So as I said, I also used the wall decorations for the bathrooms. I put them right there for the washing tables. I really like the whole black, white, brown, gray theme. By the way, I've made a new intro that also has parts of this build in it. I don't know if you've noticed. Yeah, this is the bathroom with the bigger bathtub with like a jacuzzi bathtub, and then the other one has the shower, but I think for the rest they're quite similar. I think this turned out really modern and fancy. I really like that. Okay, so this is the outside of the house. This is from afar. This is everything outside, as you've seen. Then we have a quick scan on the inside and upstairs. This is the night view. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you're considering downloading this one, and I hope you liked watching the video and looking at the speed build with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.